we'll see a Jackal ban along with a Nomad ban. Nomad makes a lot of sense, and which ban do you reckon it'll be? One or two for the Ella?
You think so?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be a Ella ban, either.
I don't know. Maybe it's Caveira from when we just last saw it.
First ban Ella.
Yes.
Come on. So Ella shotgun being banned.
You can't spoil it for me. I'm on a delay.
Ella shotgun being banned. We kind of expected Ella shotgun to be banned. Honestly, we made so many jokes about it in EU when we were casting that. But
Really, Legion.
That's an interesting one. I almost scared it might be a Monty Blitz push, like because a Legion stops a lot all shields in those tracks, and Monty's very good on the downstairs hold. So.
Absolutely. I mean, with the loss of Legion, you know that there is potential for rushes. There is the potential for a little bit more greedy pushes because of the goo mines, you know, altering sprint effect, and the fact that it's taking a significant amount of HP for such a little utility throughout its time of affecting the operator. Now, we do see Monty. You were able to successfully call that one. Obviously, Twitch 6-pick over to Thermite. That is Rapuxel. We do see a staff open hold for the very first hold of the map, and I find that very interesting. Generally, it would be a top floor in CEO, or it would be a archives, meaning that they are comfortable with the strat that they have set up for such a. I want to say this site is attacker oriented, unless you have something to counter it and make it the way that it's not. Because of the fact that, you know, spawn, you have access to both sites through just different entrances. Bill's flexing his accuracy on those poor picture frames on the wall there. But yeah, I think the induction of a bandit does show that they are going to be holding hard in some areas and then kind of expecting other ones to fall. Now, striker question, because I'm on a delay, do they have a Thatcher on 5?
No.
No, okay. Sorry, it's a little pixelated at times for me. So, as of now, they do not have anything, because of the 6-pick off of Twitch to Thermite, to stop those bandit batteries from doing what they're supposed to do.
If I stop you there, the bandit is yet to place down any of his of his thingies. So I think he's going to do it. He does it now. Eventually, they're going to go on the north walls of staff room, and we see Doc getting very tagged up. Not too sure where that is. But it looks like it could be a very quick push. By the looks of it, as I think I see aggressively pushing top floor. That might be my eyes deceiving me, but Doc's gonna stimulate himself off. And yet you'll see the sledge get a kill onto the Vigil already in that pack, but instantly refragged by the Jaeger. And that is the Habana off the board. So that's one of the hard structures gone. So they might be cutting out the position of the Jaeger as he gets killed, but then refragged by the sledge.
So a lot of bodies being exchanged in the first minute of the round. Way more aggressive than the EU matches that we have previously been spectating over, but a lot of utility loss. Speaking of which, another body is dropped for the defending team. So Vengeance is sitting in a 2v3 in the way for Fide. Ash is a little tagged up, but still significant amount of HP. Speaking of which, will fall to the Echo, Gavin, who managed to land all the shots onto Skylight Stairwell. So now it's a 2v2, minute 15 left. As I say that, every time I say that, a body drops. So now, speaking of Gavin, it's all up to him in a 1v2 scenario. I believe he still has both his yokais, or at least one of them. No, he does have two of them. Still situated. The marks are going down. He is being fed information simultaneously as they drone him out. He's just watching both angles. He does tag up the sledge, not for a whole lot, as that the gun is more known for headshots. Speaking of which, a headshot will land on him, and Fide will take the first point of the map.
So what happened there was the upstairs control was established very quickly due to the Monty. He pushed through the hallway, pushed the conference, and established himself by Banana. which he was able to call out the Jaeger's position. He eventually got killed. Same with the Vigil, I imagine. We didn't get to quite see that, but that was how they lost top floor. Gavin was playing quite aggressive on the main stairs, but fell back. And that's telltale of NA, is them. So you have Echo, who's a very plant denial heavy 3 armor player. Luckily he wasn't playing server stairs. Playing very aggressively, and they almost don't care too much about the utility. They more care about the ACOG, and that's fine if you bring in an Echo because of the ACOG. I'm not going to cuss you for that, unless you cash. And yeah.
So inadvertently, the staff of the AG seems to be dissing upon each other. However, I think that was an interesting played out round. It was very aggressive, very much so played forthright. Not a whole lot of information was being gathered. They kind of used Monty as a walking, talking camera, especially, you know, as you call out, he was watching for Banana as the Jaeger rotated upstairs. I think that the roam clearing was sufficient. However, I don't think anyone could go, hey, that Echo is in archives or on, you know, server stairs, cough cough, and without a drone, you know, adequately spotting him. I feel like that should have been droned out. That was a little bit rushed in terms of going down Skylight stairs, especially for the Ash. They still had a considerable amount of time left, not a whole lot of dronings being done. It's more of an eyes-on comm style we're seeing as the attackers are now already spawned in. But 1-0, I think it was still a really good take from Fide overall. I mean, even with losing the X-Kairoses, they knew they didn't have, you know, too much time to spend upstairs because of the fact that once you soft breach, it's not too much to do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to see them pushing back upstairs, and it's going to be more of the same, I think.
Absolutely. The Monty roam clear is, in my opinion, an undefeated roam clear when you do it correctly. It's blitz, but it's more formidable into holding them into whatever room and kind of trapping them, as long as it's a defender without a hatch to go to or impacts to kind of rotate out. But you don't exactly see too many defenders on site. You see them more holding a bit of crossfires, and speaking of which, we see a little bit of a push onto site, and Bills will be eliminating the Monty, and a Nitro Cell will be taking out the Sledge. So we are now already in a 5v3 early on into the round, but Thermite will be refragged by Prodigy, and that's the Diffuser down in main lobby, right next to Doc, ready to re-peek his teammate, or refrag falling out. Ash will eliminate him. Now sitting in a 2v4, minute 30 left. The attacking team 5 does not have possession of the Diffuser. Habana will get another elimination, and that is onto the Valkyrie. I believe that was one of the only defenders on site, as that they were so formidably holding crossfires. So it's a 2v3. It's up to the remaining attackers to reoccupy the actual Diffuser itself. They're going to be making rotating in, pre-firing smartly, lethal.
No.
The Ash. Habana's in sight.
There is no defender in sight. I was trying to put that out. They're playing this fight off site. Impact goes off in staff, and Vigil with an aggressive quick pick will get one before getting refragged by the Ash. Ash in a 2v1 situation has Diffuser. 45 seconds left, and won't find the head of the extra shit. Just take a lot of shots. Lethal looking for the 1v2 clutch.
And ADS will eat his flashbang.
The books are in his way there as he looks to pre-fire the wall. Once you get a kill, he can't also defuse, or he'll know he'll get rushed. So it's a sticky situation right now.
30 seconds are left on, or 20 seconds are left on the actual timer itself. He still has 2 flashbangs left. He could fake a plant, force one of the attackers to finally push on through. Bills the Bandit will be going on through, but fall to the Ash now. 7 seconds are left on the clock. It is a 7-second defuse time, and Jaeger will take advantage of that. And it's just a slight amount of BMing from Prodigy here, but an excellent retake. Just a little bit, yeah. But a great retake from 3 defenders who are not on site, and allowed Ash and Habana free entry into site. Now, I feel as if that Habana was holding a little bit of a too hard of an angle on a really specific lane. Two defenders could have simultaneously pushed down Skylight stairs. As that Vigil pushed down or pushed through that window as well and quick peeked, it was really up to as to how they wanted to negate their push, but that could have gone even more sideways and not have been a refrag by the Ash immediately, depending as to how they took it. But we see a 6-pick from the Montank to the Thermite.
For sure, and what I found interesting about that was they had 4 bodies off-site. They had everyone but the Valkyrie, I believe it was,
Yes.
off-site, and it wasn't like it was a very vertical hold, it was a very horizontal hold. They had 2 playing the elevator, 1 playing the main stairs, which is the most vertical they got, and also the 1 playing in open area, which was the Vigil, I believe. So it was a very vertical hold, maybe expecting an open area take. However, that did not occur, and we will now see it tied up 1-1 after a great retake, and they'll be going top floor with a mirror, Doc, Smoke, Jaeger, and Castle. Interested to see where these castles go down, and if they play anyone in this 90 hallway or elevator hallway.
Absolutely, and the hold that they were doing previously, in my opinion, I just want to say, was flat out interesting. Having a Doc and a Jaeger in the same elevator hall, almost in the same elevator at one point. Going back and forth. I mean, it panned out for them. They were able to get the point on the board. It was just not a position I personally expected to see. Castle's pretty standard for this site. I mean, because of curve, because of banana, parking lot, a single glass is just going to rip your head off if you allow them to do so, and pressure gets applied appropriately. Now, this is a site I wanted to see, especially 2 NA Titans like this going at it. This is the site that really shows execution. Execution, push, aggressiveness. I think overall, if you have a really good Ash, this site is pretty much, I'm not gonna say free pickings, but it is showing as to how aggressive an entry fragger could be with the smart amount of droning and the intel being provided. The castle setup here is pretty interesting. Thermite seems to be lone pushing on into front desk here. He is able to put down the charge, and that is going to allow access into site. Now, I don't know as of right now, is there too many defenders on site? I think the best cause here is going to be Black Mirrors defending over it in closet there. But he has a free reign from which, and he will be eliminated. As I say, is he had the opportunity for two free picks there, or at least 1 onto Valkyrie, and to open up the Black Mirror, watching over elevator hallway, 90 hallway. I call it both. So now it is there's frag for frag. So now it is a 3v4 in the way of Vengeance, as they are holding this site strong as the X-Kairos is going down. Even numbers in terms of bodies. Minute left in the round. You see the execution falling into play as Low Carmine here is sledge rappelling up window. He still has a nade. Speaking of which, I need to stop. I need to stop pointing at these people. It's a 1v2 in the last, or one of the last defenders is outside while the other one is in closet. It is all up to people here to rotate on into site. He does not have possession of the diffuser. There is a Black Mirror that is popped, and it can be watched both ways now. He's going to be prone, watching over curve, just to see if it can be an easy elimination onto the flank. Now 15 seconds left. It's gonna have to boil down to eliminations. Now, speaking of which, one will fall and is up into a 1v1 with 10 seconds remaining. He hopped on in, but Smoke will take him out. One interesting angle there.
That was an interesting execution. The fact that the Thermite individually pushed lobby, opened up the wall without anyone really droning him, I want to say, and just had free reign to open up the door, was very interesting. After that, when he got taken down, there was no pressure on the backside. It was all coming from the front side. And I understand it looked like they were doing for a double-pronged attack. They went for the Thermite at the back, Habano on the front. But it would almost be better if they switched them roles around, because you didn't need to entirely open up that backside, or lobby wall because
So it just needed pressure.
it just needed pressure, yeah, to clear out the mirror. It allowed the hard breacher who was opening it to be a lot safer when doing it, as if you had moved the mic to the front where the bindings went off, that gives you 2 walls. You can open up both of them, and it allows you to apply more pressure to the front. You can run in and plant instead of having to crouch or prone and plant, which is a lot faster and a lot safer. And that's what ultimately cost them, I think, the aggressiveness from the smoke as well into that sledge. I mean, if I was Nigel, I wouldn't tell my smoke to do that, but I'm an EU caster, so what do I know? So
I mean, I'm happy you called that out. I mean, I really need to stop pinpointing operators and what they're doing. Every time I do it, this game they've been killed. But no, I absolutely agree with you there on the Thermite pushing up through curve. I mean, I feel as if he was droned, that round was going to be won. And speaking of a Thermite being droned, Thermite will lose his head. Great pick, early pick. While coming away with your life, you don't need to be overly aggressive. That's their heart, or one of their hard breachers, as the X-Kyroses are still available to be utilized. But yes, if they droned previously, I feel like that was 2 easy picks, and that was free reign to B site, while simultaneously squeezing in the remaining operators on A site. But you see, I believe that is pulse watching from Beepers, just to see if there's an easy wall bang there. Rapunzel as Switch is going to be droning out the closet here, and you just see a little bit more of a slower, methodical push. By the time this was happening, I'll say previously, all bodies weren't in. But vertical play will go down with Little Carmine, and a refrag will occur as Valkyrie finally falls. 2 minutes remaining in the round. They had the vertical plays going on. Prodigy is the only other depth roamer, I would like to say, as we saw him all the way in main lobby. And that is going to give him free access to either go through tellers and archives and stop a skylight push. Little Carmine eliminating Doc. What I feel is if that may have been on a little bit of an easy kill. I don't think he was aware that the floor above him was destroyed. But that does give Jaeger, I want to say it gives him the opportunity to pull a Shamrock and go for a deep flank. But speaking of things occurring, Diffuser will be going down, Fana will be the one doing so. Carmine watching over the hatch. Flurry of body dropping down. It's now a 2v2. His body for body exchange is now even in number of opponents. Defender advantage for HP. And the 2 remaining operators for Fide are separated off. They don't have immediate control of the diffuser, but they are able to reoccupy it very quickly. And what a flurry of shots as Sledge pushes on in the kitchen, eliminates the one going down. And Rapunzel is there to refrag him, jump up, and what an amazing shot. that man's got YY fakey 180'd and eliminated from Beepers.
Right, so that was a lot. I feel that was a lot closer in terms of a lot closer round than the first time I saw that. Not in terms of bodies, in terms of how well the defenders held their sight. As their upstairs still lacked a bit. I feel like their upstairs roam wasn't very present, in my opinion. But their sight hold was a lot better. They were able to deny the plant at least once, with the Vigil going in big with a double kill of the SMG-12. So that's the positive. You're able to deny the plant, but you only had I think it was the Castle and the Jaeger. And I understand, I know it is very frag heavy, but it didn't look like to me you had any means of denying a plant. And that rubs me the wrong way, because for all you know, you could be in a 5v1 situation, right, and plant goes down, and they could sit at the window, and they could pick you all off when you're trying to kill them. And because you had no plant now to deny that plant, they've won the round. So I feel like you always need a bit of plant now, and I didn't have it. I think that's where they lacked. They denied the plant, great, but they still didn't have that smoke, that echo, to deny that plant.
Absolutely, no, I agree with you there. It seemed as if that plant was the only thing contesting the plant was an elimination itself. We are seeing definitely considerable gunplay here from NA, and I think that's why they're so much more frag oriented. Is because of the fact that those kind of shots are more frequent, so they're a little bit more confident in peeking and their angles and overall just even if it's a one-on-one scenario, they're gunfights. So plant defusal absolutely is seen in more methodical holds. I think this is way more for how many bodies can we drop, get them uncomfortable, and then kind of squeeze pressure on in. But speaking of which, we do have a Maestro making an appearance with the Evil Eyes. Now, we don't know if those Evil Eyes are going to be utilized to their most potential, but the Black Eyes, the Evil Eyes, it is a lot of intel being provided for Vengeance right now. It's 2v2, 2 minutes still remaining in the round. I do not see a huge amount of land being covered by the attacking team, by Fide here. And I think Vengeance learned from their previous rounds not to have everyone off-site. And speaking of which, one of the operators off-site does get eliminated. That's 5v4 already in the way of Vengeance. And a huge push coming from main lobby here onto Tellers. It's going to be up to how this execution goes down, because they do have the opportunity to push site, but it's going to have to boil out to how they feel comfortable doing so. Gavin will get elimination, and that's the IQ. That's a refrag for the bandit that fell previously. Little Carmine the Ashes watching the angle. A second kill will go down, and that's the Pulse. That's a Nitrocell off the board. So there's 3 Nitrocells for this defending team overall. They have lost 2 out of the 3 thus far. Another elimination will go down. A third will go down. It's a 1v4, 1v2 in the way of Fide. Now the last defender, Prodigy Jaeger, is on site. He's outmanned in terms of HP and in numbers. They do have possession of the diffuser, however the operator who has the diffuser is the one with the formidably more health. Pre-fires will go by both sides. It's a bit of a bottleneck here for Jaeger now, but shots will connect and close out the round through the wall.
There wasn't a lot to analyse in that round. I think their roam presence is weak again. Their roaming hasn't been the best, or it's the fact that Fide have shut it down extremely well. But that just came down to pure gunplay. I mean, you saw as soon as they entered the site, there was 3 kills for Fide, 2 for the defenders. Like, it wasn't like it was one slowly after another, slowly working in the site. It was like 2 kills early on, bang, another 6 kills. And it's a 2v1 situation for that. Like, I think NA, at least Fide, are doing these really quick, heavy executes, which are catching defenders off guard.
Absolutely. I feel as if it went from no land was covered by Fide to they're at our doorstep. And you really do need to assess as to how you're going to counter of which, because it seemed as if the IGL gave out, call-outs, to have the roamers flank and rotate back, and Fide did a really good job at pulling them, at making sure they couldn't do it. They were eliminating them, they were cutting them off, and although they were doing their best efforts to support the remaining defenders on site, they honestly just couldn't get their positions to do so.
For sure, and I'm going to see a downstairs hold right now. And this is the first time I've actually seen a downstairs hold, and this is round 6. So, very interesting. We'll see a new mirror smoke, alibi, and a Jaeger. Now, won't be forward to an alibi shotgun playing them main stairs, or them server stairs. I would love that.
I'm seeing that alibi and I'm thinking it should be an Echo, as it fanned out so well in archives.
And I hate you. I hate you.
I'm seeing that and I'm thinking it should be someone who has more utility and could really end the game at the wire, but put him up front. But here we have Mute with the shotty on the stairs watching on over. Now this site is deemed a little bit more attacker oriented because of the fact that once control of the hatch is established and the diffuser goes down, it's a very hard recovery, very hard retake. We see a standard little bit of a setup from Mira, and the attackers have done nothing but take this map. Look at this. They have taken over Skylight. They have taken over open area. And there's still 2 minutes left in the round. A beauty will go out, and there's 2 out of 3 being used. That may have been just another one. I don't know the exact numbers unless we swap on over to them. But hatches will be blown. It looks to be as this is going to be a server CC take. They're doing a great job at getting a little bit more intel oriented as the drones are going out. An initial frag will go on out. That is the mute off the board, and that is a nitrocell. Now, not a lot of people realize the importance of nitrocells, especially later on in the round, but plant defusal and really making sure that if there's a body there, they're not going to be up anymore. So it's a 4v5 in the way of Fide. They have established a lot of ground. Now there's a minute remaining still left in the round. None of the mirrors have been popped by the Twitch drones. I don't know if they're going to be saving that and trying to push them downstairs or through garage. But they're still up and standing. Mira Gavin here has a nitrocell at disposal if need be. Now, I don't know if they still have the utility to blow open CC. Speaking of nitro, one will be tossed. It will unfortunately be unsuccessful. Now, it's still even in terms of bodies. Ash is very low HP, but the number is still there. We approach on just about 30-second mark, you know, a little bit more. Not all defenders are on site. They have yet to clear out Bills. And speaking of which, he will be eliminating the Thermite off the board. And what is that? The IQ? So it is now sitting a 1v3, 1v2.
Big.
He saw the play and he made it.
Ash got taken down by the mirror and 3-3 is that now?
I believe so.
And this has been it's been a quick game compared to EU. The EU games we casted were ending 8-6, 8-7 at the end of every map, but they were like 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left. Had to wait 4 or 5 seconds for the diffuser. These games, has the diffuser been planted once?
There was no. I don't think
below 30 seconds.
There was no. I don't think there was an attempt to do it that round, and I don't think it's gone down successfully anytime thus far. It's all coming down to eliminations. As Smoke eliminated the IQ when they previously tried to do it on CEO. When they tried to plant open area, it all went down eliminations, and that's when Twitch closed it out with that the straight abuse of that poor thumbstick. But we approach the 7th round of the match, which means we have a flip from who is attacking. So we previously saw all of these rounds have been Vengeance and their defenses. Now we are going to see as to how they approach their attacking rounds. Now we see another Echo appearance. I do question as to whether or not those yokais are going to be used for plant defusal, or because of the fact they have Valkyrie and yokais, if they are also going to go to information gathering. Now they're going to be playing downstairs in an armory first, which is generally not the picked site, especially for the first round on your defense, because of the fact that it is more attacker oriented, and it's a little bit more of considered a ranked site to go to, because it's very comfortable. You know, it's a little bit, you feel safer as a defender going here. I'm loving the Valkyrie camps going down by Gunny here in lights. But we also see our first presence of a Ying. Now Ying is definitely going to reward how aggressive and chaotic these rounds have been. With a Candela, you can blind a considerable amount, if not all, of the defending team that is in its array. Especially since the nerf, you're gonna have to slow down a little bit and make sure you prime it all the way if you want it to go immediately off. But we have a Smoke playing server and a Jaeger playing blue stairs, with 2 operators from the attacking team, Ying and Thermite, pushing through dirt. Now they're gonna be droning out one another. Thermite's gonna be droning in because he has the fuser, and well, the Candelas were made for this purpose. So for sure. I want to see the ADS go off.
For sure, and a minute left, or a minute gone, should I say, and not a lot of map control established via the tunnel. They haven't really pushed the server yet. I imagine they've took top floor control, took open air control, got the hatchet open, and it looks like the Ying's going to rotate all the way back to its teammates. As they're actually getting a hatchet from the safety of the top floor hatches, which is very smart. You don't have to push down into the open area to get the hatches and get the risk of maybe someone flanking. You can get them from the top floor very safely. With the Ash, get very aggressive on the hatch, and ooh, just missed the shots on the smoke there as he peeks aggressively under the hatch. As of the minute 19 left, and they're going to look to start going for the execute, I imagine. And Ash holding a very angle. Oh, but little carbine gets the kill with the smoke on the pack, and great shot by him in the smoke. Playing very aggressive for a smoke, but
absolutely, he rotated from server back on into vault hallway, and he peeked the hatch. Little carbine sitting up going to show you my little carbine, and eliminating the Ash off the board, and that was the first kill of the round. Speaking of which, immediately refragged, and another kill. This is just a flurry of bodies going down right now. The 2v4 in the way of Fide. We see Jaeger in open area, really trying to trump any efforts there is to make any rotates. He's the reverse rotate watch, but if the skylight hatch is blown, he can rotate on over into the free kill onto Thermite. As I say, as he dies, and he stopped doing that. Mira just pushed and quick peeked. Quite impressively, may I add. Sledge will punish the aggression. However, it's a 1v3. We have 13 seconds left. He's sitting at full HP. He doesn't have enough time to rotate. He is going to be seeing if there's a last second defender that's trying to stop this push. He's going to go up the stairs just to drop down the hatch. He unfortunately doesn't at the time, and even with a diffuser, it's ruthless.
My mind's blown. What? I understand the Mirror got the kill, but what? Yeah. Why peek? Like, come on.
What confuses you, Striker? What don't
the
you
fact
grasp?
you have the audacity to peek in such a big game as a Mirror when you have plant denial.
But it was succcul.
But it was successful. It was a great hold. I can't knock that. It's just I'm an EU. I'm not used to this. But no, it was a great hold in general. I think the Jaeger came up big there on the, I think it was a late flank from site, I want to say. Came up the main stairs or like up to the top floor and used them open hatches, because holes work two ways, so you can shoot up or down them. Of course, once the Habana used
two ways.
Once the Habana had used them to open the hatches, she vacated them, which left them open for the Jaeger to rotate and get them 2 easy kills in open area, which did take down a lot of their pushing power. I believe it was the Ying and the Habana who went down. So we've seen Archives hold here.
And the X-Kairos were spent. However, that's still bodies off the board, that's still pressure being applied. I think it was an excellent analysis of what was going on in the push. So now we have a point in the way of Fide rewarding as to how they were kind of assessing the situation. We see a little Carmine pick up the Echo. Now, he was a little bit aggressive as Smoke, and God, I hope he is just as aggressive as Echo, really putting the work behind the cog. But we see a little bit of a standard hold here for Archives Tellers, rotating on through, and I imagine Vigil's going to head upstairs or kind of hold elevator hull if need be. I'm going to bite my tongue because he seems to be stationary right here. And previously we saw a lot of pushing being done by main lobby. Really, it was that main lobby, it was that little office watching over elevator hall. I mean, it's an excellent position to cut off rotations. Let's go crazy here, rappelling all the way up onto onto main wall on the ATM wall here. I do love that position. I love seeing people get picked from that position because it's an easy punish as long as the information's there and there is even a body there in the first place. The Vigil still on site, which intrigues me because I don't know if they were.
5 anchors.
Do they have 5 anchors?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't think they wanted to make the mistake of having 4 people off site, and the only person on site is a Valkyrie. So we have Bills.
On this site though, upstairs control is huge, and giving them that upstairs control. I forget which game it was, an EU game last week. We said the exact same thing. that they played so horizontal that it was an easy take for the attackers. We'll see the Bandit get a kill onto the Ash who just carelessly walked in, a little carbine, and the Echo, who's not playing server stairs, gets a kill onto Let's Go Crazy.
Echo is tagged up for a quarter health. His body's advantage in the way of Fide is it's 5v3 and there's a minute 15 remaining in the round. Now they have lost an Ash and a Thatcher. That's huge because this site is soft breaching oriented, as I say when a sledge is going to be trying to floor bang. No, that was Echo lost a quarter health. Valkyrie will immediately get the refrag. And now it is a 2v4 again, still in the way of Fide. Now the remaining attacking operators for Vengeance is 100 HP. And speaking of which, they get another elimination, so it's a 2v3. They have the singular nitro cell of the Valkyrie and the Bandit. So that's 2 nitro cells still on board for the lack of yokai coverage. Now 30 seconds left. They are gonna have to pick as to where they're going to be executing. This didn't work for Bills earlier as Ash was picked off by Bandit sitting on top of a bomb. However, another elimination will go down. That now it's a 1v2 as Thermite will fall, and I don't believe that IQ does have possession of the fuser. My apologies. 9 seconds is remaining. It looks to be as if it's going to come down to the elimination. Pressure is being applied from both sides. He does able to finish off the person on Skylight Stairs, but not in sight.
What that came down to was great anchor play by the defenders. They had 5 people on site. I mean, normally that would not work against a more, let's say, methodical team. They would drone top floor, realize that you're all on site, and they would push you out of them key positions. That Bandit, if he had sat there on an EU game, and they had gave the enemy team top floor control, he would not be allowed to play anywhere near there because they would open up the entire floor. I think that's the mistake that Vengeance made. They didn't bring the soft disruptor to open up that floor and push these players out of these key angles.
They had Sledge, but unfortunately it did not play for too long as he got the elimination onto Echo. You know, in Echo playing in sight, playing smart, you know, the next time make it an aggressive one. And was immediately refrag. So they did have, I think it was Ash and Sledge that unfortunately both fell, making their vertical plays a little restricted to what had previously been done. We see a little Carmine reinforcing elevator hall here. I do like to see plays done with this wall when it's not reinforced, especially a glass repelled up on that side, shooting through it, cutting off all rotation from 90, and sort of from closet bending, but I do like to see teams get punished for not reinforcing that, or at least a play that occurs from the lack of there. Now, it was an absolute flurry of kills. It was a Thermite that didn't get droned in, and a smoke that hopped out onto a sledge. I want to know as to how this round is going to fan out because of the fact that there is only a singular hard breacher. There is a lot of soft destruction, Azafia, and a sledge for a site that is horizontal. And Let's Go Crazy goes nuts and eliminates Lil Carmine. That's the dock off the board. Now, on black and white paper, not a huge amount of utility, but honestly, the HP and the gunfights we see in NA style play is needed. However, he walked away 100 HP.
It's not even that, it's the fact that you normally play your dock on the 90 hallway corner with a shield there, and you hold the angle all the way to Junta. And that denies so many people being able to play there unless they clear you out, which takes resources. We'll see the Thermite pick up the wall now, as Lethal can't get to it in time. He's prone in. He's going to look to peek prone onto his IQ potentially. As the window gets opened up, Sledge is going to land a couple of shots onto him and will eventually get that kill on the windows. Now a 3v4 situation, now a 3v3 is going to pick up the kill onto the IQ, and very quickly this is becoming a frag fest as Sledge looks to drone downstairs. Make sure there's no one playing them dreaded server stairs.
say a minute 30 left in the round. It's still plenty of time for them to be able to recuperate. Now it's a 2v3 in the way of Fide. It looks to be as if the Black Mirrors are both still up, and it's a free kill onto the poor Mira, who kind of just got caught with their pants down. He's just running on into sight. He's got a gun and he knows how to use it. So now they have it's what looks to be control of sight. The fuser's going down as I say, of which I bite my tongue because of the fact that Jaeger gets the elimination on the thermite. It's a 1v1, minute left. I hope that they have drones still being able to watch over. Now this kind of plays against Sledge, who has possession of sight. The diffuser will be going down, and I don't think it's going to be contested in terms of because of the fact that they're so far away from each other. There's still 2 nades, and Sledge has the ability to long range and short range. Jaeger is going to be perfectly behind him. He might be able to get the wall bangs here. Jaeger does have HP advantage and a carbine, so he can kind of play with the angles here. But if they hear one another, it can be kind of a wallbang fest, and he falls. So excellent kill from Rapuxel there, and I think that is pushing us into match point for Bank.
I think it is. And we are about to go the entire game without seeing Echo play server stairs. I'm very happy.
I'm going to cry just a little bit. The fact that
for context, guys, who is watching this, I casted a game where Cash played Echo on the server stairs, and I basically roasted him for it multiple times.
However,
That's
I roasted that team alive. So
anyway, getting back to this game.
Yep.
We're going to the Locker's CCTV room, and we've got a Bandit, Maestro, Valkyrie, and Jaeger, and I imagine a smoke. I'm hoping it's smoke. Valkyrie is a Doc. Now, Doc's an interesting pick on this side. I'm not gonna refer to it being an NA pick because it might be, but Doc normally on the site doesn't really have a lot of use. There's not a lot of angles you want to be peeking on this site. As in, you don't want to be peeking the server door or the CC door to server where the wall's normally breached. You don't really want to be peeking server at all. You don't want to be peeking garage because you'll probably lose that fight. So, Doc on this site is a very interesting pick, and doesn't bring a lot of utility. However, it is NA, and I imagine he'll probably be roaming somewhere obscure with it.
Yes, a roaming dock is a fun dock, in my opinion, as you can get a little bit of greedy with your gunfights, get yourself right back up, and go straight into the fray as you never left the frying pan. So, spawn peeking, quick peeking with the cog, really just, you know, you have an HP advantage because of the fact that you can replenish your HP and or replenish your teammates' HP. So I do want to see as to how this utility is it utilized, or is it more of a, you know, a peak advantageous? Yes, yeah. But we are going back down to the basement. I'm surprised to see this site picked so much, but it's this or I think staff and open, so it's understandable if they're a little bit more comfortable with that and they don't exactly have preoccupation with a strat. Now they do have open area left pretty open, it looks to be, as Paketstar will just be pushing right on in. He, of course, Sledge is a soft breacher, so he's going to give the call-outs that if we watch flank rotation and roamers, we can get the X-Kairos down to at least open them up if that's their plane of attack. As I see a lot of bodies being oriented for the defending team downstairs. I don't know if this is another 5 people on site for Fide here and if it will pan out, but we do see Hamana switch on over to open area. I assume to get the hatches, and Paketstar will be pushing on in CC with, or server into CC with Thermite as the wall gets opened up, watching over the bomb. Now lastly, they were met with a very peeking Mira, who landed the shots and was able to eliminate Thermite in the last rounds. So the first elimination will be Jaeger, and the Valkyrie will fall shortly. Doc is sitting at very low HP. He will be eliminated as well, and it's now sitting at a 4 or 3 with an injured injured teammate. Now IQ will be suffering some shots and ultimately taken out. Now it's even in terms of bodies. That was a 2v4. That was a 2-body advantage. Just now forfeited by Vengeance. We do have a disconnect from Little Carmine. But is up to the Bandit, who is off-site. Rapuxel is watching into the staff room, the blue rotate, and either if the plant goes down, or if he can successfully, flank and stop it, either or. The mirror will take the head off of Packet, that is sledged down, and we are sitting in a 1v2 low HP'd Bills. Sends out a flashbang and will be taken out by the Bandit Rapuxel. I believe that is the map.
That's map 1, and no Echo playing server. Thank you. Right, our second map. I don't actually know what our second map would be. Bad cast on my behalf, I know. But we will be with you in a few minutes with that second map as Fide 1-0 up against Vengeance.